If you're thinking about buying a used Tesla Model 3, this is for you. I'm breaking down exactly what to check before you hand over your money. Teslas are incredible cars, but they've got a few quirks that are easy to miss if you're coming from a more conventional vehicle. So let's get started. First up, the biggest topic, battery health. This is the most important part of any EV. A healthy battery means solid range and fewer surprises down the road. You can start by looking at the car's percentage of charge and seeing what range it shows. That'll give you a rough estimate when you calculate it for 100%. This is the least accurate, but it'll give you a bit of an idea. Something more reliable, use an app like Teslafy or TesLab to dig into the car's charging data. This is not really possible before buying the car, but if you want the most accurate picture, a battery health check under the service menu drains and analyzes the battery in detail. It takes longer, but tells you exactly where things stand. A lot of dealers are starting to do a battery health check themselves, and any private sale, you might be able to ask the owner to carry out this test. Now don't panic if the car has 30,000 miles and has lost some range. That early degradation is totally normal and levels off after that. What matters is how the car was used. Was it a daily commuter or a rental? Cars that were fast charged constantly or driven hard may age faster. Next, let's talk about accident history and battery replacements. Accidents happen, but if the main battery pack was replaced, you might want to ask some extra questions about when and why. Also, make sure if the car has been written off, that it still has supercharging enabled. If it was rebuilt, Tesla may have disabled it, and getting that restored isn't always straightforward. Now, check the wheels closely. Teslas with 19-inch wheels or larger often have curb rash, especially if they've been rented or parked in a tight city space. It's cosmetic but very common. If the rims are scraped up, aftermarket covers are cheap and an easy fix. Then, have a good look at the tires. Tire life on Teslas varies a lot. Some can get over 50,000 miles on a set. Others need theirs replaced at 20,000 miles. Tread depth is more important than mileage, so don't skip that check. Uneven wear can also be a sign of suspension issues. Which brings us to another common fault, control arms. Tesla Model 3s and Ys, especially earlier ones, can develop noisy and worn control arms. Listen for clunks or creaks when turning or driving over bumps. If they've been replaced already, that's great. If not, factor that into your budget. If it's still within warranty, Tesla will take care of it. Tesla needed to replace our front and rear suspension. When it comes to keys, you should get 2 physical key cards. And make sure a private seller removes the car from their Tesla app or transfers ownership over to you using your email. That's what allows you to use your phone as a key, which is what most owners rely on day to day. When buying from a dealer, you can use the invoice and receipt of payment when adding it to your account. In some cases, you might need to wait for the owner's title and V5C form. Software updates are one of the perks of owning a Tesla. The car gets better over time. But if you care about full self-driving in future, pay attention to the hardware. Most used Model 3s will have hardware 3 or older. When it comes to the UK, Tesla might eventually require hardware 4 for full autonomy. Inside the car, inspect the seats, especially if it's the white interior. The material is very durable, but you might notice some wrinkles over time, especially with blue jeans. But most marks clean up great with a warm damp cloth. Also, make sure that the touchscreen works smoothly and that there aren't any weird noises coming from the AC. On the outside, look closely at the windshield. Teslas are known to pick up small chips, and while they're not always serious, they're worth catching early. Rock chips around the rear door and front bumper are also very common. Look around the wheel arch, especially if the car doesn't have mud flaps. Next, look at what kind of charging equipment comes with the car. A mobile connector lets you charge from a standard outlet, slowly, but it works. For faster charging, you can get Tesla's wall connector. Keep in mind that installing a proper outlet or upgrading your home's electrical system can get expensive. For example, we were quoted almost $2,000 for our carport to be upgraded. So we stuck with the mobile charger, and for now, it meets our needs. Finally, it's worth understanding the differences between trims, especially if you're not settled on a specific one yet. The standard Range Plus is the most affordable and gets you around 220 miles depending on which model year. The long range model, like the one we drive, offers a nice balance of range, comfort and all-wheel drive. There's the performance trim as well, and that is great for raw speed, but keep an eye on those bigger wheels. They're much easier to damage and tires wear quicker. Each trim saw subtle changes between 2019 and 2023, especially around things like chrome versus black exterior trim, the center console design, and the addition of a heat pump. They all drive like Teslas, but the small details make a big difference, depending on your priorities. For example, you might want the automatic liftgate. So that's my rundown of everything that you should be looking for when purchasing a used Model 3. These are the areas that'll tell you the most about the car's condition and how it's been treated. If you've got questions, leave a comment below, and if you're already a Tesla owner with your own advice, definitely share that too. People reading will appreciate that. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.